Hi, I'm Kevin Eikenberry, and I'm here to help you reach your potential as a leader and a human being. Welcome to Remarkable TV. Today we're talking about how to be more curious. Are you ready? Well, let's go. We're in the series of 4 episodes talking about a keynote that I gave to a bunch of middle school kids about their culture at their school. And the culture of their school is being built around the word grit, G-R-I-T. 2 weeks ago, we talked about gratitude. Last week, we talked about resilience. The I, and today's episode, is about intellectual curiosity. Now, I know the I, it makes good sense to fit into the word grit, but we're talking about 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, and they wanted me to talk about intellectual curiosity, and I wanted to make it simpler for 6th graders and 7th graders and 8th graders, and even for us. So I mentioned intellectual curiosity. I had them repeat after me intellectual curiosity, but we're just really going to talk about being curious, okay? And so here's what I asked the kids. I said, do you know a know-it-all? And they all started nodding, and I said, is this a person that you want to be around? And they all shook their heads no. And same is true for you, right? Do you know someone who's a know-it-all? If you do, you kind of get that look on your face. You're like, is that who do you want to be around them? Do you want to be them more directly? So I would say that if you think about someone who's a know-it-all, they would seemingly know it all, right? They wouldn't need to be curious because they already know it all, except the smartest people in the world aren't know-it-alls. What I told the kids was, we often aren't curious. What keeps us from being curious is because we don't want to be seen as being dumb. Like I remember when I was a 6th, 7th, and 8th grader, there's a lot of things like I don't want to be seen as being dumb. I don't want to feel like that most of the time today either. But you know, we don't want to look dumb, so we don't want to ask the dumb question. We don't want to ask a question at all. Asking questions seems like we don't know what we're talking about. And so that's one of the things that keeps us from being curious, isn't it? We aren't curious because we don't want to be dumb. Here's what I told the kids. I said, curious isn't dumb, it's smart. The only way we really can learn anything is by being curious. And I said, you're not showing that you're dumb by asking a question. You're actually proving that you're smart by asking a question. And I had to say that 4 or 5 times before I think it started to sink in. But I think it's true for all of us because all of us have those moments where we don't want to be exposed for not knowing it. We don't want to look like we're asking the question we don't know anything about. And so I would challenge you to think about the fact that curious isn't dumb, it's smart. So how can we be more curious? What can we do today? Well, here's what I'm going to share with you. I'm going to share with you 5 things. We're going to go a little deeper with you than I went with the kids. 5 things that you can do today to be more curious. Okay. First one is ask questions. Questions are the currency of curiosity. They're just asking more questions. It's pretty much what I told the kids. If you want to be more intellectually curious, ask more questions, and that would be what I would say to you. But I'll go further with you. I will also say ask, don't assume. Well, we all know what assuming means, right? You find yourself in a new situation and you hear someone use an acronym and you assume you know what it is, and you might find out later that you didn't know, or what you thought it was something else. And so you were trying to figure out how to hook that acronym to that idea when it wasn't that at all. Just one simple example of how assuming can get in our way. We all know what that word can be if you split it up, right? I won't do it for you here. So ask, don't assume, right? Next, ask why. The most powerful, curious question of all is the why question. Ask the why question more. And to that point, I would say, think about if you're a parent, when you had a 6-year-old, they asked the why question all the time, right? Why this, why that, why something else. And so my next point for you is, if you want to be more curious, is channel your inner 6-year-old, right? Ask why. Don't be afraid to ask. Ask because you truly are curious. And the last one, and maybe the most important one for us as adults, is stop judging yourself, right? You're not dumb if you're curious, right? And so stop judging yourself and saying, man, I should know this. I don't want to look stupid. All of that stuff that gets in our way. Allow yourself to still be that 6-year-old, to ask the questions because you really are curious, because you really want to know. At the end of the day, if you want to learn, you have to be curious. And so hopefully I've given you 5 ideas today so you can be more curious. And I want to thank the middle schoolers for challenging me to think about this differently myself too, and hopefully it's been helpful to you as well. Let me close with today's tweet. It doesn't mean you are dumb, it proves you are smart. Speaking of being smart, if you'd like to be more smart as a leader, you might want to subscribe to our 13 Days to Remarkable Leadership series. Each day for 13 days, you will receive a video from me in this studio where I share a story and talk about a leadership skill, and then you get a tool, a PDF tool that helps you integrate and apply that skill in your life and in your work. 13 Days to Remarkable Leadership. It's free. All you can do is sign up. And if you liked this episode, next week I'll be back with the final installment of the 4-episode series about my talk with the middle schoolers. We're going to talk about the last one. I'm not going to tell you what it is till you get back, right here every week on Remarkable TV.